Okay, we're going to just start for the review of the pre-build board. This is just a video from Aegis Mobile Electric. Again, the 7616, this is our primary power distribution and switching module input stud here. Right now we have our power from our power supply connected with the orange wire for the demonstration. And then we have the output number 1 here, output number 2 here. And this is the output that is variable. Both outputs are variable. This one can either be by the time delay or based off of an input. You'll see that that can turn into ignition only output and would shut down automatically after the ignition is turned off. The rest of this pre-build, we have two different ground boards. This is 8030. They're tied together with an 8-gauge wire. And then we have the the ground wire that goes to the 7616. The rest of the wiring we control and connect per the wiring diagram to these two Form C relays that's normally open, normally closed, and those will act to turn the rear door lock open and closed. What we'll do now is go ahead and we've turned the device on right now. You can see that this device is green, and then what we've done is we've turned it up to a charge voltage. We'll go ahead and turn the power supply off. Everything turns off because that's the only power to the system. And now we'll go ahead and turn the power supply back on, and then you'll see that the device automatically turns on because it's sensing that 13 volts. If we start turning the voltage down to below 12.7 volts, the device will start flashing red because it's in timeout mode. In this particular case, the dip switches under the dip switch cover here are set to 30-minute time delay. And both 1 and 2 are set to 30-minute time delay. This input here, this is the yellow wire that's connected all the way back to pin number 2 on the 7616. This wire will, if this is set to high through a separate switch that's in the console, and we'll go ahead and hit, all of this is positive 12 volts right now. So once we touch this high, TDR status number 2 is going to turn off immediately. And then you could hear that, and then you can see that the light is now turned off. Now that'll remain off until the charge voltage turns this back on, indicating that the vehicle is turned back on. TDR1 will continue to time delay per its settings. And looking at the white wire that's coming out of the connector bundle, this is a 4-foot wire here. This is the end of the 4-foot white wire. This wire is should be connected to a push button release trigger to turn on the or to unlock the rear door. Once this will happen as long as this will unlock as long as the wire is held, so I'll touch this wire to the positive input, and what we'll do here is we'll connect the voltmeter to the output of this relay. You can see the output right now is at 0. So once we connect the wire to the 12 volts, you can see that that 12 volts is remaining. Now this is unlocking the door for as long as the push button is held. After the push button is released, this wire that I'm holding, once I release this wire, that'll indicate the push button has been released. Immediately the power will go away from the unlock door, and then 9 seconds later we're going to monitor the output of the second Form C relay, and that relay will turn on for 1 second for only 9 seconds later. So let's go ahead and remove this connection. That has been removed. Now we're going to move our probe here to the other relay, and at the 9 seconds you'll see the voltage turn up and then off 1 second later. That would indicate the relock of the rear door. As this has been happening, the device is continuing to be in the shutdown mode. So that way, if the key has been turned off, power is still available to release the rear door lock. Right now, the power for this for that door lock release system is connected to the output of TDR1. If this wanted to be 24/7 access and capability, we would want to connect it to the input stud here. However, we need to look at the firmware to understand whether that's possible. If the device goes into a firmware shutdown or a deep hibernation, that may not allow that. Again, let's go ahead and just briefly turn the voltage back up. And now this device, once it exceeds 13.4, again, both LEDs are on, both outputs are now on. We can check that by putting the probe here and seeing 13.4. putting the probe here, seeing 13.4. Again, if we happen to connect the push button for changing the ignition, that will affect nothing right now. Nothing will turn off because there's charge. We need to wait until the ignition is off. Leaving the probe on, and now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and change that voltage back down to 12.7, indicating that the engine is shut off. And then immediately TDR status, TDR number 2 turns off because this connection, which is indicating the push button, was connected to positive voltage. And that's the end of this demonstration. Thank you.